you already are living in Colorado and now you're looking to sell a home. Well, today we're going to talk to you about how to best find, interview, and sign a contract with a listing agent.
That might be new to the channel. My name's Adam Mayfield. This is my partner Wes Hartman, and we're with the Colorado Home Pros. We get phone calls, texts, emails every day from folks looking to sell their home here in Colorado, and quite frankly, we love it. We love helping people out, whether it's in 9 days or 90 days. Find our information in the description below, and give us a ring, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We'd love to have a chat and help you out as much as we can.
Yeah, so hiring a listing agent is a much different process than hiring a buyer's agent. You know, when you hire a buyer's agent, we touched on this in one of our previous videos, but quickly, you don't traditionally pay for that agent service. That agent is compensated by the seller or the listing agent. So now we're talking about this side of it where we are the seller, we are the listing agent, and now that fee or that commission is now covered by the seller. So you as a seller, I would say a good ballpark figure, right? Traditionally, I think you've been seeing rates about 6% to sell homes, and that's split 3%-ish to the listing agent, 3%-ish to the buyer's agent, right? Now, keep in mind that's completely negotiable. When you go out there, and our advice is always the same, go do your research.
Do your research.
Right? So there's a very, very big piece to this. And as we touched on in the buyer's video, when you go out and you are searching for agents to help sell your home, when you stumble across an agent and the agent's profile comes up on Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com, what you need to know and understand is those are pay-to-play sites, right? Those agents, most of the time, are paying to be there. Now, you can go find our profile on Zillow or these other sites, but it's harder to access, right? So when you click on a property for sale on a given market and you see a face, most of the time, that face is not the actual listing agent.
Right.
So keep that in mind. When you pick up that number or when you pick up the phone to call that number that you see online, that's not that agent's cell phone number. Go find their site, their website directly. Go find the agent directory at their brokerage. Track them down that way. Send them an email, send them a text. Listen, if we get an email or a text, we're responding pretty quickly to that client to say, hey, we would love to chat. So I don't think you're going to struggle too hard to find 3 to 5 people that you can talk to get an idea.
Yeah, and that's important to find those 3 to 5 people. Right? Because you don't want to just hire the first person that you meet, not knowing their qualifications, not knowing how long they've been in the business, how many homes they've sold, what areas they specialize in, and all those sort of things that you want to kind of parse out and then start dialing in your search.
Yeah, absolutely. So come prepared with a list of questions that you want to ask these agents. Try to ask each one of the agents the same questions and see how they respond. But yeah, time in business. How many homes have you sold? What are you going to do to help market my home? At what price do you think that we should list our home? Well, you're probably going to get a response. And what I would say if somebody called me up and said, hey, how much should I list my home for? I kind of need to take a look at it. I need to do my research as well to make sure that I'm giving you the most accurate number that I can that would go along with selling your home.
Well, that's a good point. You know, if you talk to an agent and they just throw a number out like spaghetti on a wall, it's like, well, are you really doing your research? What information do you have? What data do you have to back this up? Whereas if you find an agent to, like your example, well, let me come out and look first. I mean, this is a big decision here. This is a lot of money we're talking about. This is your home you're trying to sell. So we're not going to just throw something to the wall and see what sticks. We want to make sure that we're giving you the most accurate information so you can make the best decision for you and your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. The agent that just says, hey, I'm going to list your home for $100,000 more than you may think it's going to sell for, right? Sellers typically have an idea of what
Sure.
their homes are going to sell for.
Yeah.
So if an agent comes in and they're saying a number that's much higher than what you anticipate, ask them to show their work, right? Kind of prove it, sort of thing.
And that kind of goes into, sometimes, agents will just tell you what you want to hear, sort of thing, just to get the business. You really want to look for those agents that are gonna be honest and critical about it. Like, if you think your house is worth $600,000, but I have data to show that, hey, this house across the street sold for $525, this one over here, same square foot, about $550. We want to really understand where we're getting that number, not just saying a number or agreeing with the seller just to get the business, because that's just gonna make it more stressful. The time on market's gonna go up. If you've got to move, you're not going to get to where you need to go in the timeline that you need, and it opens up a can of worms.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, the sales price and time on market are tied together in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. So if you are looking to sell quickly, you may not have the time or the luxury to wait for a slightly higher offer. If you have the time to wait for a slightly higher offer, you actually might get more for the home. So you do need to keep in mind that those two things are related. If you're looking to sell right away, don't maybe expect as high of a number as you otherwise would. Now, some of that also comes down to marketing and the velocity of showings and the velocity of people that you're getting through your home, but you really want to know and understand that going in.
Yeah, and part of our process is breaking down, hey, here's how much of this fee that you're paying me that I'm allocating towards marketing, right? I'm allocating towards pictures. I'm allocating towards, staging if it needs staging, right? All these things have to be factored in, and it's all, every situation's different, I guess, right? So if you've got your job saying, hey, you got to be in Texas in 1 month, otherwise you don't have the job anymore. Well, that's a conversation we need to have in terms of pricing the home right, so we can get it sold in that timeline so you can continue on with your life.
Absolutely. All right, so now you've interviewed your 3 to 5 different agents, you're probably going to have an idea of who you want to move forward with. And at this point, they should be putting a couple documents in front of you, one of which is called the Definitions of Working Relationships. Definitions of Working Relationships it's not a contract, it's a disclosure that the state requires every agent to deliver to their client, mm-hmm. that outlines the various roles that a real estate agent may play in a transaction. There's a listing agent, which we're talking about right now, which is there's a buyer's agent, which we've done another video on. There's a transaction broker, and a transaction broker doesn't have a fiduciary relationship with their client the same way that a listing agent or buyer's agent would. Mm-hmm. And again, fiduciary, for our sake, means putting the client's financial best interests above their own. So you're really looking for an agency relationship versus a transaction brokerage. And then the fourth way is a consumer, and a consumer is just an unrepresented buyer, right? Unlicensed agent that is going to simply represent themselves. Mm-hmm. So you also can choose to be a consumer in any sort of real estate transaction you want to be involved in as well.
Yeah, but in this case, like you said, you want that agency. Therefore, then I'm going to be your fiduciary. I'm going to put your interests above mine in terms of just getting a deal done. We're going to make sure it's right for you, present all the information, give you my opinion, but ultimately, as the seller, you're going to make the final decision.
Absolutely. And that fiduciary relationship, I'm going to negotiate for my commission, for my fees up front when you're interviewing me. Once those are locked in, my financial interest is secondary to yours, right? So now we go out there and we're looking to get you the most amount of money, or the agent that you hire should be 100% focused on getting you the most amount of money for your home, however they can do that. Second document that you're going to be presented with is the exclusive right to list. And that is the actual contract that you're going to sign with another agent that outlines roles and responsibilities, right? Mm-hmm. Here's how much I'm getting paid, and here's what I'm doing for you. Here's how I'm going to market the home. Here's the money that I'm going to spend. Here's how I can communicate with clients. Can I email you? Can I text you? How? It outlines everything, right? So really take your time to review that document. Make sure you know and understand everything. I know plenty of agents who leave some of the sections in that, marketing specifically, blank, and they really don't have a marketing plan. Their marketing plan is, let's put the home in the MLS and let's see if it sells. All right, hope you found all this very informative. There's a lot to know and unpack with these contracts. Just remember, these are all available on the Colorado DORA or CREC, Colorado Real Estate Commission website. Very simple search into Google, Colorado Real Estate Contracts. It's the first link. Click on that. Go look for the exclusive right to list, and you can read through the contract yourself and see what we're talking about here. Do us a favor, please hit the subscribe button if you like what you're seeing here, and look for our next videos here out and about in the Colorado area.